Hello, we are nft-tokenizer.com. I'm Nat.
And my name is Tanja.
So today we're going to have a brief chat about tokenization. So we've had quite a lot of blog posts about tokenization, about digital assets generally, but this is our NFT with Tan and Nat to be able to explain to people in realistic terms what tokenization is. So Tanja, over to you.
Okay, so tokenization has lots of benefits. So one important one is that one can authenticate ownership, and this is very useful because now we can trade copyrights, intellectual properties generally a lot easier. We can grant licenses because with a non-fungible token, we can attach a smart contract, and the smart contract can then automatically execute transactions for us, and that makes just the whole contracting a lot more efficient. And it's also transparent because everything is being recorded on the blockchain. So there is an immutable record, which is virtually hacking proof. And all of these are benefits from tokenization.
Okay, so for the non-technical people out there, so we know that tokenization is essentially a digital asset, say the words. So I'm going to use an example, right? I have a cup. This is a real world cup, but I could make an NFT of ownership of that cup, simply put, right? So I could say, I'm going to sell that cup. I'm going to make an NFT out of that cup, and I'm going to sell it to another person who can purchase that cup in a digital asset. But it also can be a tangible real world asset, correct?
Yeah, and by doing so, you create a new market because you can trade the cup to many people. And it could also be that you want to split that cup. And so many people now own that cup. So there's divisibility of ownership. And for example, if you apply this to real estate, then now suddenly lots of people can own a piece of land, whereas beforehand people couldn't afford a piece of land. So divisibility is another benefit from tokenization. And now I think I mentioned before about smart contracts. So basically you can add programmable functionalities to a token. And so basically when you're transacting, you can say that the token gives you a license to use the painting 100 times. And so this is done automatically, and there's no further need to do anything. So that makes it a lot more efficient to transact again.
So there's authorization built into the token itself.
Yeah.
That you don't have to do anything. It's always in there. It knows when to start and when to stop. So
exactly.
if A plus B equals C, essentially. So there's
a
command structure within the token. Okay, so I mean, there's obviously you've mentioned real estate. So for people who might be interested in tokenization, generally about how they can benefit from tokens. So one of the ways that is definitely working its way through at the moment is real estate, both in the real world and also obviously in the metaverse. So there's other things which we can probably discuss that are possibly a little bit more tangible to people who might think, yeah, I can make some money out of this. So
yeah, so you can use any sort of assets. So there's a webpage called Diamonds where people are trading real diamonds, and the diamonds are converted into NFTs. So each diamond has got a specific NFT, and so you can purchase the NFT, and the NFT gives you the ownership. It authenticates your ownership to that diamond, and you can claim that diamond, but you can also trade that diamond internationally. So you suddenly create a very big market, and you can do that for any sort of thing. Whether, I mean, collectibles, it could be vintage cars, it could be vintage rum or liquor bottles, or any sort of assets, or trainers, any
I mean,
object.
trainers, right?
You
So
can apply
trainers
this
is a
to.
big one actually, because there's a huge market for collectible trainers, isn't there? You know, a lot of people who are
Yes.
very into trainers. So, I mean, this is something probably that people could probably relate to on a very basic level. You know, I don't know, a pair of original Stan Smith Adidas shoes or something, or a pair of original Superstar. These things probably would attract buyers, right? So, you know,
Yeah, and then an add-on is that it's not just the actual trainers you can trade as NFTs, but you can also have the trainers in the metaverse as a digital collectible. So your avatar can wear it. So you have two things you get with it, with that
yeah, so
trainer.
it's like a
Or it could be
duality, isn't
that,
it? There's the hard
yeah,
tangible asset of you will get those shoes, but then in the metaverse, so for example, in Decentraland, your avatar could be walking around wearing some really jazzy, early edition Stan Smith or Superstar or what have you. So
yeah.
yeah, so I mean,
And,
that's incredibly cool to people who are super, Adidas aficionados, I imagine.
yeah, and also for brands, what they can do basically is they can give access to an exclusive event to anyone who owns that NFT and who feels very close to that brand and who wants to come together and, and they can give access. So whoever holds that NFT doesn't only gain access to the trainers or can trade the trainers or get the trainers in the metaverse for the avatar, but they can also maybe have access to an exclusive event in the metaverse,
Right.
or,
Yeah.
or to a certain giveaway or another limited edition collection which is coming out by an artist. All these sort of things are
Yeah.
possible.
So like there's always
And
random collections for shoe manufacturers that are always, collaborations with some other person, artist, another designer, what have you. So they would get first, if you like. So let's say, for example, in Decentraland or Sandbox or wherever, people have access to the Adidas shop and they get a members only kind of invite as a holder of that NFT to be able to go to
yeah.
an event where they might sell limited edition other NFTs for new shoes or
Yeah.
collectible shoes or
And then that's an investment opportunity. At the same time, it also prevents against counterfeits. So for the
of course,
brand,
yeah.
it's also a very big benefit that it authenticates the ownership of that particular trainer. And for the person who buys the NFT, it's an investment opportunity at the same time as a fashion statement. You get bragging rights, that
Yeah.
you're wearing the limited
I
edition,
think I would certainly like that.
trainer. Yeah, exactly. And you can actually wear the trainers in the physical world if you want to redeem the NFT, So
Yeah. So
it
you
comes
can
with
you can
lots of
actually
benefits.
so once you actually redeem the NFT and you own the tangible physical asset then. So you no
Yeah.
longer have the NFT in the digital realm.
Yeah, I mean, there are different options for how you want to design the NFT structure and what can come with the NFT, which is out there. So, but the NFT is just basically the tool which connects the physical world with the digital world, which becomes sort of blended together. And it allows a global reach. You can really create a community because all those people who buy that NFT, they are, your super fans, and those ones, they can access special events in the metaverse. They can get together, and I mean, one can also use NFTs for science projects. I mean, there's lots of different ways. So how one wants to structure NFTs. Maybe we talk about how to use NFTs for science projects in another talk. But the benefits are basically that there's a record of the NFT on the blockchain. It's very transparent. You can't tamper with it. You can suddenly sell your products globally. You have now merged the physical with the digital world, and you can sell the asset and split it into different ownership parts if you want to. And you can program your NFT in a certain way that you give licenses in a much easier way. So if you're an artist, you can license your music very easily now with an NFT. So it's also democratizing investing, because now lots of people, anyone can, buy into, special asset classes. So that's sort of like tokenization is the vehicle which is being used nowadays. And I mean, a distinction has to be drawn between non-fungible tokens and fungible tokens. So non-NFTs are the unique ones, whereas fungible tokens are basically cryptocurrencies. And so
the difference between an NFT and a fungible token for the lay people out there.
Yeah.
So fungible tokens are essentially they have basically there's a limited supply, but they are derivatives of an original. So they go on sort of fractionally almost. Am I correct in saying
an NFT? Yeah, an NFT is a unique item, whereas a fungible token is a cryptocurrency where like money, you can divide it. There's no difference between any of them. So that's basically
that's it. So the NFTs are more unique. Okay, so let's go back a little bit, because we talked about decentralized, the benefits of decentralization essentially. So let's just say, for argument's sake, I'm an author and I'm tired of trying to find a publisher, the publisher giving me less preferential rates and royalties on my work. I think I shouldn't have to part with that money, and I think I can take my book to market and sell it, and claim all the royalties for myself. And I can do that through an NFT, right? So let's talk a little bit about how that might work.
So you basically create your NFT for your book, and then you can decide how often. I mean, you could basically sell your book to just one person and give that person certain rights to do, whatever you want that person to do with this. So that's one option. That's probably, or you can give a certain amount of copies. You
could say, like, for example, if it was going to be limited edition, you could say there was only going to ever be 500 copies, and those 500 copies are programmed into that NFT. Okay, so $1 million question, I suppose, is that as an author, I would retain all of the royalties except for the minting fee and any other kind of on costs, if you like. But every time that book was published, every time that book was traded, say for example, I could receive some of those royalties.
They would be immediately being credited through a smart contract into your wallet, which and then you get the money.
So the beauty again of decentralization, it means that people can break free from the chains of, let's say, more organized types of selling platforms, so they don't have to lose out on royalties that they could otherwise invest in the literature or something similar. Okay, so you mentioned about the blockchain, so I think we need to quickly just give an indication about tokens on the blockchain. Why is it significant? So you were mentioning about security. That's it, I guess.
Yes. So basically, a blockchain is lots of ledgers, and they're stored. It's a distributed system, a peer-to-peer architecture. So there are lots of computers, and they're creating the networks, the platform, and each computer has got all the different ledgers which are connected to each other, and so it's impossible to hack one computer because there are many other computers which have got the same information, which holds the same ledger, and that makes the blockchain immutable. It's difficult to hack it. I mean, there are certain ways to hack it, but it's very, very highly unlikely that a blockchain is going to be
compared to Web2 type servers.
I mean, there's no centralized databases. There's no silo which you can just one point of attack, because you would have to attack all the computers which are creating the platform. And with a big, with these different types of distributed systems, that's highly unlikely to achieve, basically.
So what about privacy? I mean, this is I guess a big thing that people want to know about, you know, how is their privacy protected? Is it through the same mechanism, I would assume?
Well,
Because
with blockchain, I mean, there's no name attached to it. There are different options being worked with. So if you use something like MetaMask, you can choose different wallets, and they're not necessarily linked to you as a person, but it's the other way around, that you give access, or you decide how much access you give, how many of your credentials you want to reveal. But
exactly.
that's, I mean, there's a bit of a debate going on, and that battle is not yet resolved. Let's
Far
put it
from
that way.
me.
So there's, you know, the digital identity is obviously one big point, which is also being canvassed, and yeah, that's yet to be decided, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, when people buy an NFT, generally, you know, it's, I mean, nowadays, Twitter, so Twitter has now the blue stripe, so people with a blue stripe, they can put their NFT on their profile and basically, you know, show that they have an NFT. And yeah, and I mean, then that person would know that it's you, but otherwise it just basically is just your wallet,
Yeah,
which you're
exactly. So your
holding.
wallet address. So I mean,
Yeah,
this is the thing, because there's no, when you're selling something online, let's say, for example, through another mechanism, I don't know, let's say for argument's sake, Amazon, you would have to go through, you know, all kinds of different levels of verification, and you're giving an awful lot of personal information to those companies. And let's say, like, in an ethical world, we would all want to think that that information was definitely regulated by the relevant laws. I'm sure it really is, but there's always that off chance that, you know, data scraping can happen. And as you say, you know, Web2 is really easy to engage in through backdoors and whatnot. So people's information is out there, including banking information and whatnot. So the beauty of privacy within the NFT and within blockchains particularly is there is no real personal identifier in terms of your data, that you know, your personal data is out there. Simply you're using your wallet, right? So your wallet is just merely a chain of numbers.
yes, yes. I mean, as a purchaser of an NFT, it's just that you need your wallet, and equally, but of course, if you're a brand, you know, you want to advertise your NFT, then everybody will know that that's your
Yeah.
NFT
So I mean,
collection.
obviously, if
But
you're
otherwise, you
promoting
know,
yourself, yeah.
yeah,
So
yes,
let's
yes.
go to the promotion of people being able to use NFTs to promote themselves. So we've mentioned already about music. So we've mentioned artists can easily access a wider market, again, without all of the music moguls in the middle trying to take a giant slice of the pie and rights to their, you know, back catalogue and such like. So what about video content?
Yeah, so now YouTube is also going into the NFT space, and they have also talked about how one can monetize shorts. So you can turn so influencers or YouTube creators or any creators, they can basically turn their shorts into an NFT and then sell the NFT. And by doing so, they can build a community of fans, and they can make available unseen information, or they can give access to a private membership, or they can give access to a yearly event, or, you know, whatever
Even a
they
meet
want. I
and
mean,
greet,
there's
I suppose.
many,
You could do a
yeah.
meet and greet in
Yeah,
the metaverse with PewDiePie. I don't know. I'm just,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
picking
exactly.
YouTube names out of the sky. So you
Yeah,
could do like a virtual meet and greet that would be, you know, NFT ticket based. So you would have an
yeah,
NFT that would allow you access to that event. So for content creators then, particularly YouTubers or people who create content on other platforms, this is like really good for marketing purposes, I would suggest. So you
yeah.
can speak directly to your consumer base, your fan group, the people who watch your content. You can sell your shorts. What about if you were to give, for example, I'm just going to use like a cooking channel as an example. So
Yeah.
on cooking channels, there's always, you know, like special recipes and whatnot. And I'm certain cooking channels are extremely popular on YouTube. So if you wanted to give like membership only access to some content, and people often do that, don't they, through things like Patreon or other platforms.
Yeah.
Or even like the super chat things that they have on lives. But you could potentially sell a recipe as a NFT, right? So the recipe
Yes,
could be an NFT, or even you could do a live event, like we were saying, in Decentraland or somewhere similar, in one of the metaverse spaces where people could come and join you doing
for an interactive cooking
an
class. And I
interactive
mean,
cooking event. Yeah,
because
barbecue off
Google
or something.
Yeah, because Google is releasing their new VR headsets, and then obviously everybody will want to try it out. And then, you can be in the metaverse and cook with your favorite, YouTuber, and and enjoy hopefully
I mean,
that
it's the
recipe, not in the
future.
metaverse, but
I want to say like a quick thing. So we were talking a long time ago about the metaverse being like, there's like quite a lot of negative assumptions about the metaverse. And we both talked about this, didn't we? And we said that actually this is an opportunity for us and for other people who want to create a community that is, let's say, more progressive than the ones that we live in
you
right
can just
now.
rebuild the entire world. I mean, the technology is out there, it's decentralized, and it's for people to get together globally to build
Yeah.
whatever they want to build. There's no limitation in what is possible. And it's just a new way of the internet, which is a lot more dynamic, and, the
I mean,
internet
people are probably
maybe
mind
was
blown, aren't
scary,
they?
but
Like, thinking,
yeah,
I'm going to get my VR headset on. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to just pretend that I'm in like a Louis Vuitton, and
yeah,
I'm
no,
in
but
Louis
I mean, in
Vuitton,
the
and I'm buying a
future,
handbag. You know,
I mean, in the future, you can even zoom yourself into the shorts of, the video of your favorite influencer,
so you
so
can like
that
literally
that will
interact.
all
Because
be,
we were talking about this, and that again, I think will probably be a subject of another video. But we were talking about the interactive NFT, which is like the next big thing.
yes, exactly. But I
But
think we leave that to the
yeah, we
next
have
video
to like
because we're running out of time.
stay
So
on task,
yes, but
Tanya.
yeah,
So yeah, so let's just go like back. So tokenization is important because obviously everything is moving into the Web3 space, where everything will be on blockchain, and this will be the new way of commerce. So
yeah. And you can
important
do just
people.
lots of things. You can authenticate the ownership. It makes things transferable. It makes things divisible. It enhances liquidity. I mean, the blockchain makes it immutable. There's that feature of programmability with the smart contracts. You create new markets. You can own things fractionally. It's interoperable. Investing becomes available for everyone now. It's a lot quicker and more efficient. It's transparent because the ledger is there. Everybody knows, who owns what. Fraud is reduced, and it creates new monetization sources, and it reduces costs. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, final words then on the subject of why tokenization. We've said it. You've just said it then. But I suppose the parting message for people is to do your own homework. Start looking into how tokenization can work for you, and not to miss the boat, because the thing is, as time moves extremely fast, technology moves much faster. So whilst we're talking about certain places in the metaverse like Decentraland and the Sandbox, over time those things will grow. The space inside them will get taken up by the big organizations. I mean, you might find a
Yeah,
Tesco in the metaverse.
and the new and now is a chance to build, to become that next big brand
Exactly.
basically and take over, because this is a new era. And it allows a lot of opportunities for those who are interested and who are early birds.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
time for people to take up space now before the big players get in. I mean, the big players are already in. Let's not
Yeah,
waste
they're
any
already
time
in. Yes,
denying it, because they are, you know.
yes, of course, of course.
But it's time for people to get in themselves and start thinking about how they can establish a tokenized product within the metaverse, right? So let's think like final kind of call to action, I suppose, for anybody watching. What
Well,
should
if
they do if they
anyone
want
wants
to know
to,
more about NFTs now? If
yeah, you can
people's
go to our
interest,
webpage. Generally, we have lots of blog posts. You can give us a call,
shameless
or
plug.
send us a message and connect with us, or send us comment what topic you're interested in, and then we can talk about this in our next chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That was
yeah,
what I was just going to suggest. So if there's a question, if anyone has a question, they can post it below this video. We will obviously take a look at those questions, and then we will do another video responding to those questions, and also pick another subject that we are going down the list of things that we think the everyday person needs to know about blockchain, tokenization, Web3, and the metaverse. And on that note,
yeah, the
Tanja,
future, how to get future ready. That's what it's all about. So yeah.
absolutely, and
Okay.
break down the barriers, and kind of maybe demystify it somehow for people, because I think people have got certainly maybe a kind of confused view about what the metaverse is going to be, and maybe maybe not, some of those things are not entirely bottomed out yet, but
Yeah.
in order to be in it, to win it, you've got to also take part in shaping the metaverse and what it will be used for and how it will work for people. So yeah, so contact us, write a comment
Yeah.
below, give us a question, email us.
Yeah, create the future with us,
Yeah.
we'll be here, so yeah. Okay.
Driving it forward. Okay, so Tanya, thank you so much for the chat.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
will
take care. Speak to
speak
you
to you
soon.
later.
Very soon. Okay, bye.